All right, class, today is Thursday the 8th. The agenda is on the sideboard. We're going to do the warm-up first. I'm going to check the homework here in a minute. Do a homework check. I'm going to model for you. And remember, it's not mandatory that you write this down, but I want to make sure that I share this with you. It is on the sideboard. I'm going to model how to compare and order numbers. But before I do that, we have to finish conversions. I don't think we got to that yesterday with all the interruptions that we had. Ladies, do you need something, babe? No. Okay. I'm going to model conversions first. Then afterwards, I'm going to do compare and ordering numbers. I'm going to do some guided practice with that, okay? All right. Hopefully, if we have time, we'll be able to do the ordering activities. Very simple. If we have time. If not, then we'll push it to Friday. It's not a big deal. Okay. Remember, our Thursday's homework is the back page. Okay, so we finishing our homework. It's the back page. Okay. Make sure that you watch the video. Yes, babe. It's on the back board right there. It's all on the back board. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? We're not ready for our quiz. It's on Friday, so I'm going to push the quiz back to next Friday. We should be ready by then. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to continue to work on compare and ordering. All right. Imani, you okay? You sure? Amari, right? Amari. All right. Let's look at the warm up. We're doing Thursday's warm up. You got everything you need? Where's your packet?
Also left out.
Your blue you left the blue packet at home?
Yep.
Okay, we gotta pack up the bag at night, okay?
Yep. I'm
gonna give you extra copy here today, okay, baby?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. All right, and then you just put that with the packet tonight, okay?
Yep.
All right. Okay, let's look at the warm up. Y'all ready? Okay. All right. Lost my train of thought just real quick. We are solving an equation that means we need to get x by itself. So first thing we're going to do is distributive property. We're going to multiply the 3/4 times both terms in the parentheses. Please draw the arrows. We're going to use distributive property first. Mara, you ready? Draw your arrows, babe. Draw your arrows. I'm going to do one at a time. Okay, so I want you to do this with me. I'm going to multiply 3/4 times 8x first. I'm going to do that over here. So we have 3/4 times 8x. Please write that down. We're going to do this together. Okay. Hayden, sit up, please. All right, when we are multiplying a fraction with a whole number, we make the whole number a fraction by putting a 1 under it, just like that. Now we're going to multiply straight across. We can cancel out diagonally or reduce diagonally, but if you don't know how to reduce diagonally, that's okay. Just multiply straight across. So when we multiply straight across, what is 3 times 8x? And remember, if you don't remember, you can use your calculator for this one. What is 3 times 8x? What's 3 times 8? Type it in. What's 3 times? Huh? I think somebody said it. Say it a little bit louder. Okay, very good. 24. So we have 24x on the top. Let's multiply the bottom. What is 4 times?
I kept him on his path.
Okay, that's right. Okay, babe. 4 times 1. What's 4 times 1? What's 4 times 1? 4. That's okay. Maybe they thought I said 4 times 4. It's okay. All right, what is 24? Now we have 24 divided by 4. Thank you so much. All right. So now we have 24 divided by 4. Type that in if you don't remember. What's 24 divided by 4? 6. Very good. So here we have 6x. So when we multiply, we get 6x here. Now we're going to multiply 3/4 times the 4. We're going to do the same thing again. We got 3/4 times positive 4. We're going to do the same process again. All right, so when we multiply, how do we write 4 as a fraction? Abby, got it, baby. Okay. Just take the 800 Paul has it. The one that says 800. All right, ready? All right, so we're going to put a 1 under the 4, and we're going to multiply straight across just like we did before. What is 4 times, or 3 times 4? 12. What is 4 times 1? 4. Okay, so now we have 12 divided by 4. What's 12 divided by 4? 3. Okay, so this gives me plus 3. This gives me plus 3. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down the 6. Okay. Now we have to solve for x. We got to get x by itself. Which one of these numbers do we move first? Do we move the 6 that's attached by multiplication, or do we move the plus 3? Which one do we move first? You said 6. Anybody disagree? Okay, we move the plus 3. What's the opposite of adding 3? Subtracting. So in order to get rid of the plus 3, we have to subtract 3 on both sides. We have 3 minus 3. What's 3 minus 3 there? Okay. Thank you, babe. You fine?
No.
Not yet? Okay. All right, so here we have 6x is equal to the 3. We're going to divide both sides by 6. Now we reduce this fraction. How do you reduce the fraction 3/6? What can we, thank you, we're coming. Thank you, babe. What can we divide both the 3 and the 6 by? Come on, y'all. Come on. What will go into both 3 and 6? Greatest common factor. Not 2, 3. What's 3 divided by 3? What's 6 divided by 3? Okay. We're going to mark this one out. I'm going to pause for the calls. All right. Make sure, let's go to the back page. This is labeled Thursday's homework. Okay. Thursday's homework. Do not forget with Thursday's homework, guys, we are multiplying. When you have a positive times a positive, the answer is going to be a positive. When you're dividing, positive divided by a positive, it's a positive. If it's a negative times a negative, it's still going to be a positive. If the signs are the same, yes, ma'am. I know. I don't have an extra person, so it's going to be difficult for me to get around. All right, so positive, if one's positive and one's negative, your answer is going to be a negative. So this is going to be a negative. You see how one of these is a negative? Your answer is a negative. Both of these are negative, so my answer is a positive. This answer, one's positive, one's negative, the answer is going to be a negative. One's positive, one's negative, the answer is a negative. One's positive, one's negative, the answer is going to be a negative. Both of them are the same. They're both positive. The answer is positive. Both negative. The answer is positive. Okay. Any questions about how to get positive or negative? What's 6 times 1? What's 6 times 1? 6. What's 4 times 2? 8. What's 3 times 4? 12. What's 2 times 8? 16. So on and so forth. Okay. All right. The bottom part, we already reviewed how to add and subtract fractions. Decimal integers. So this should be no problem on the bottom. Go back and watch the video if you are struggling. Enrique, y'all, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? You okay? All right, I'm going to pause for the calls. Please take out your notebook. Calculator. Everybody should have this sheet and their calculator, okay? And we're going to be doing some converting. All right, so we're going to write some instructions down on the bottom as well, okay? The first one that we're going to do is percent. We're going to go from percent to decimal. So let's write down here at the bottom, and we're going to do just short little notes, percent to decimal, just so you can remember. When you're going from a percent to a decimal, you're going to move the decimal, locate the decimal, and move the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay? Move the decimal 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign. So here we're going to say move decimal 2 spaces left, drop percent sign. That's all we're going to do to go from a percent to a decimal. To go from a percent to a decimal. All right? Percent to decimal. Percent to decimal. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Move the decimal, write it down. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Move, write it down at the bottom. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Okay? All right, so let's practice it. Let's practice it. So here we have the decimal. If you don't see it in the number, it's automatically behind the last number. It's right here, so we're gonna move it 1, 2 to the left. When we drop the percent sign, our decimal is going to be 0.28 or 28 hundredths. Oh, we didn't write this one. This is 0.18 or 18 hundredths. Okay, try these 3. Try these 3. Locate the decimal, move it 2 spaces to the left, and put your answer here. All right, pause for the calls. We'll walk around and check. Do that. So let's look. So here, what did you get for that, Samantha? What'd you get for the next one? 0.78 or 78 hundredths. Carter, what'd you get for the next one? 0.96. Very good. We moved the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay, Ricardo, what did you get for the next one? 0.50, or you can say 0.5. Okay, excellent job. All right, let's look at the bottom. Let's do, now we're going to go backwards and let's do from decimal to percent. So let's go here. Decimal. Hey, babe. Decimal to percent. Decimal to percent. So when you're going from a decimal to a percent, you're going to go back. You're going to move 2 spaces to the right. Right here, move decimal. Going to move it back. 2 spaces right. Going to move it to the right. And this time, we're going to put the percent sign there. We can add the percent sign. So we're working backwards from decimal to percent. We're going to move it 2 spaces to the right and put your percent sign. So decimal, 2 spaces to the right, and we put our percent sign. So this is 35%. 2 spaces to the right, 75%. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see if we can do these. Move it 2 spaces to the right. What would I put as a placeholder for this space? 0. So this is going to be 80%. See if you can do these two. 2 spaces to the right, add your percent sign. Okay, we have our decimal here. We're going to move our decimal 2 spaces to the right. 1, 2. So this is going to be, we don't need the 0 in front of the 4. It's just going to be 4%. Okay. 4.65 or 65 hundredths. Move the decimal over 2 spaces to the right. So this is going to be 65%. Raise your hand if you got all of these right. Okay. Jessica, I didn't get to check yours. Are you okay? You understand it, baby? Okay. All right. Let's do another one. Now we're going to do from a decimal to a fraction. Decimal to a fraction. Let's write this down the bottom. Decimal to fraction. And let me put this in a box so we're not confused. So now we're going to do decimal to fraction steps, okay? Very simple. We're going to keep it short. What we're going to do is we're just going to read the decimal to write the fraction. So we have to be able to read the decimal. You got to understand place value to write fraction. And I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay? I'm going to write the place value on a separate piece of paper. You don't have to write this part down because most of us know the place value. If you're not sure what the place value is, then please write it down, okay? All right. Anybody still writing that? Let me look around and see. Okay. A couple people. Let me pause. All right, here we go. This is the place value. Let's suppose I had this number here. I'm going to use 535. Let's do 3, 4, 6, 8, 1. Okay. What place value? You okay? You got it? Was that yours? Whose top was that? What place value is this right here? The 5 in. Somebody said it. Oh, that's yours. Okay. What place value is that 5 in? Need to sit up, babe. What place value is that in? 100. This is the hundreds place. What place value is the 3 in? Tens. It's the tens place. What place value is this 5 in? Say again. The ones place. Okay. 1 space behind the decimal. What place value is that? No. Somebody said it. Tenths. T-H-S. Tenths place. That's the tenths place. What place value is this 4 in? What place value is that 4 in? What's after the tenths place? Hundredths. T-H-S. Hundredths place. What place value is this 6 in? Thousandths. Very good, Ricardo. Thousandths place. What place value is the 8 in? Not quite. 10 thousandths. Very good, baby. And the last one, what place value is the 1 in? hundred thousandths. Those are your place values. And we're going to write these in our notebook also, okay? All right. So now we have this. I'm going to need to know those place values in order to write my decimal to a fraction. So let me slide this up a little bit, okay? All right, so my decimal here, how do I say this decimal? This is number 18. This is 18 behind the decimal. And this place value right here, 2 spaces behind the decimal, is hundredths. So this is going to be 18 on the top, and the place value is 100ths. So I put 100 on the bottom. That's how I write that fraction. 18 over 100. Because the last number is in the hundredths place, the bottom number is 100. Please write that down. 18 over 100. Now we're going to reduce that. How do we reduce that, Ms. Reyes? We're going to use our calculator to do our reducing. Okay, look at this. We're going to type in the fraction 18 over 100. How do you type in a fraction in the calculator? This is how this goes. You type in the numerator first, 18. Type this in now. You can type it in, baby. 18 goes first. Enrique, type in, please. 18 goes in first. 18. Good. Then press the division button. Type in 18, please. The division button is right here. On the side right here. Fraction is division. 100. That's how you type in a fraction. 18 divided by 100. That's how you type in the fraction. Numerator divided by the denominator. Now press the math button. Where is the math button on the calculator, Ms. Reyes? It's right under the green button. It says math. Press it. You're converting. You are going to write it as a fraction, and it's going to be a reduced fraction. So we're going to choose the first option. We're going to press enter and then enter one more time. This fraction is now reduced. Math, enter will reduce a fraction. So our reduced fraction is 9 over 50. 9 over 50 is the reduced fraction. And we're going to do it again. Let's do the next one. How do we say this number, Ms. Reyes? The number behind the decimal is 28. The last place value, 2 spaces behind the decimal, is the hundredths place. See, 2 spaces behind the decimal, the hundredths. So it's going to be 28 over 100. Now we need to reduce it. We're going to type in 28 divided by 100. That's how you type in a fraction. What do we press? Yes. Sorry. Oh, you got it. Very good, babe. Very good. So now we're going to press math. And then how many times we press enter? Twice. Enter. So what's our answer here? Reduce.
25.
7 over 25. Very good, babe. 7 over 25. Okay, how do we do the next one? How do we write that as a fraction? What over what? Come on. How do we write this? This is 78 hundredths. So we're going to put 78 over 100. How do we type 78 over 100? How do we type that in? What do we press first? 78, then what? Divided by 100. Very good. What do we type in now? What do we press? Math, and then what? Enter. And what's our reduced fraction? 39 over 50. Okay. All right, let's do this one. How do we write this? We say this as 96 hundredths. 2 spaces behind the decimal is hundredths. So how do we write that as a fraction? Come on. How do we write that as a fraction? What over what, Carter? 96 over 100. Excellent, babe. Okay. How do we type it in the calculator? How do we do that? How do we type it in the calculator? Arturo, how do you type it in the calculator? America? 96 divided by 100. Very good. What do we press after that, Jaden? Math. And then what, baby? Enter. Good job, sweetheart. So our reduced fraction is going to be what? 24 over 25. Good job. The next one is, how do we say this number? 5. What place value is the 5 in? What place value is the 5 in? 1 space behind the decimal. Tenths. So we're going to say 5 over what? 10. Let's reduce that. How do we type that in? How do we type that in? Haley?
5 divided by 10.
Very good, babe.
Math and then press enter and
Very good, sweetheart. What's the reduced fraction? 1/2. Okay. Any questions? All right, so now let's do the last little conversion, which is to go from a fraction to a decimal. So down here, we're going to write fraction to decimal. That's okay, babe. When we're going from a fraction to a decimal, all we do is divide. How do we divide, Miss Reyes? We say the numerator, type the numerator in, divided by the denominator. Numerator divided by denominator. Okay, so let's type in the numerator divided by the denominator to see what the decimal is going to be. Okay, you ready? All right, so let's do this one. 3 divided by 10. Let's type that in to see what the decimal is. 3 divided by 10. That's the fraction, right? You see it? 3 divided by 10. Press enter to see the decimal. What's the decimal going to be here? 3 tenths or 0.3. So let's put that here. That's the decimal. 0.3 or 3 tenths. Let's convert this to a decimal. Let's type it in. What do we type in first? What do we type in first? Come on. 2 divided by 5. Very good. 2 divided by 5. It's not 4, but it's what? 0.4. 0.4, right? Or 4 tenths. How do we type the next one in? How do we type this next one? 1 divided by 4. 1 divided by 4. What decimal is that going to be? 0.25 or 25 hundredths. And see if you can do these two on your own. I'm going to pause. Good. Very good, Tamir. All right, let's look at it. How do we do the next one? What do we type in first for 11? Very good, Andre. 11 divided by 20. What decimal is that? Point what? 55 or 55 hundredths. Okay, let's do the next one. 1 divided by 5. What does that give us? 0.2. Not 2, but 0.2, right? Or 2 tenths. Okay, so now let's go and convert these decimals to a percent. How do I convert this decimal to a percent? Yes, babe. How do I convert it to a percent?
3%.
Not 3%. That means we only moved it, the decimal, one time. 30%. Very good. Move the decimal twice to the right. So this is going to be 30%. Okay. What about the next one? How do we do that one? Yes. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the right. So what did you get for the percent? 40%. Okay. 40%. Amari, what do I do here to change this from a decimal to a percent? 2 spaces to the what, baby? Right. And so what percent does this give us? Excellent job. 25%. Okay, Aaliyah, what do I do to change this to a percent, baby? Move it 2 times to the right. So what percent is that, sweetheart? 55%. Andre, what do I do to change this to a percent? How many spaces? 2 to the what? To the right. What percent is this going to be, baby? 20%. Excellent job. Okay. Very, very good. All right. So now we want to write as a fraction, right? So now we got to be able to read it. We did this up here. So this is 35 over, what place value is that 5 in? 2 spaces behind the decimal is what? Hundredths. So it's 35 over 100. Now, how do I type that in the calculator to 35 divided by 100. Then what do I press? Math. Enter, enter. Good job, y'all. And what's that going to give us? 7 over 20. Excellent. Okay. Let's do the next one. You ready? How do I write this as a fraction? This is going to be 75, Everett. How do you say that? 75 hundredths. So it's 75 over what? 100. Good job, sweetheart. How do we reduce this? Alexis, what do I type in the calculator? 75 divided by 100. What else? Math. Enter, enter. Okay, so this is going to give us what as a reduced fraction? 3/4. Enrique, are you okay with it? Are you okay, baby? Okay. Let's try this one together, okay? Just to make sure. This is 8 tenths, okay? Because it's 1 space behind the decimal. So, Enrique, we're going to put 8 over 10, okay? Now, let's type in. Where's your calc? Come on. We're going to type in 8 divided by 10. So, let's type in 8. Let's type in divided by 10. After we press 8 divided by 10, what do we type in after that? Don't forget what? Math. That's okay, baby. We press math and then press what? Enter, enter. And that gives us what as a fraction, sweetie? Say again. What did you get as your fraction? Do it again. Press the math button and then press enter 2 times. 4/5. 4/5. Okay, Tamara, you ready? You want to try this one together, baby?
I already got the answer.
Okay, what'd you get?
2 over 5.
Okay, so you did 4. And the 4 is in what place value, y'all? Not tenths. Nope. It's 2 spaces behind the decimal. Look, 2 spaces behind the decimal is what place value? Hundredths. So it's 4 over 100. So let's type this in. Thank you. You too, baby. 4 divided by 100. 4 over 100. What does that give us? What do we do now? Very good. Math, enter. And this is 1/25. 1 over 25. Okay? All right. How do we do this one? What do we write here? This is what over what? 65 over 100. So let's type this in. How do we type it? 65 divided by 100. Math. Enter. And you said it right. It's 13 over what? 20. Excellent job. All right, let's paste this in our notebook. Nia, you okay, baby? Are you good? Are you okay? Don't do it for her. Don't do it for her because then she won't know how to do it. I know your heart is going to break. No, because I want her to do it. All right, let's paste this down on the next page. Okay. What page is this going to be, y'all? This is page 11. 10, what's the coloring? This is fraction, decimal, percent, conversion. All right, let's put up our calculators and pick up our cell phones. I can, yes, ma'am.